5 minutes after 9 o'clock, it is time for Veterans News. Today, a very special full-hour Veterans News. Hank Whittier is here. Good morning, Hank.
It is. It's not because I'm here, though. Hey, Larry. It's just because Dr. Knapp is here.
Dr. Knapp is here,
Dr. Knapp is here with his troops this morning. Good. Well, listen, we're back. Going to have an hour show today. Going to talk about a couple of things in the clinic and medically, and got some good panel people here. So, unfortunately, though, we do have firefighters, police officers, and I believe there's several soldiers as well, aren't there not?
Yes, we do, and we'll start with the firefighters. We have Stephen Ackerman, firefighter, from the Valley Springs Fire and Rescue in Valley Springs, South Dakota. And we have, unfortunately, another firefighter, Raymond Arunho, an inmate firefighter, whose date of death was the 13th of this month, April of 2015. And unfortunately, we also have 2 officer downs. We have Scott R. Thompson, a patrolman of the Manchester Township Police Department in New Jersey. His end of watch was the 10th of April on 2015. And we have 2 Department of Defense casualties. We hadn't had any here for a couple weeks, but unfortunately today we have 2. We have U.S. Army Specialist John M. Dawson, age 22, who died on the 8th of April in Afghanistan. And we have United States Air Force Tech Sergeant Anthony Salazar, who died on the 13th of April in Southwest Asia.
Okay.
May our thoughts and prayers be with all the families of these firefighters, police officers, and soldiers and airmen.
Anybody local that you want to mention this past? No? Nobody?
Not that I've heard.
Okay. Larry.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
All right, Larry. Well, we prefer the shows that don't have casualties, but we will remember them when we do. Gary, you want to make sure everybody knows who makes this all possible, so who to put the blame on?
Yeah, we couldn't do it every week without the help of great WOCA here, radio, putting us on the air, so we want to thank them especially. And the folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Garden and Nursery. I took yesterday off, and I was doing some garden work yesterday, and my wife tells me we need to visit Bob Wine's. She wants some rose bushes, and she wants some new azaleas. They're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala. When it comes to your landscaping needs, believe me, Bob Wines has it. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. Everything from mulch, fertilizers to trees. And if you buy a tree from Bob Wines and they plant the tree, they guarantee that tree. That means if that tree dies, they come back and replace it. You just can't beat a deal like that. They've been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952, and that was a good year, the year my wife was born. And another great thing about Bob Wines is if you go down there and you tell them that you're a veteran and tell them, of course, you heard about them on WOCA, you get a 10% discount. Cannot beat a deal like that. We also want to thank our local Ford dealers who serve us here in Gainesville, Leesburg, the Villages, Bellevue, and of course in beautiful Ocala, where our main office is located there for Ford. That's at 2816 North Pine Avenue in Ocala, Florida. You can get you a new truck. You can get you a new car. They have used cars and trucks. They have hard-to-find parts, a great service department, and if you're not able to buy or you don't feel like buying right away, maybe you just want to try a Ford. I've got 365,000 miles on mine. You can lease one and see what they drive like. So visit your Ford dealer first chance you get.
Yours is only 2 years old, too, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, well, it's a Ford parking lot. We all have Fords over there, I think, just about. So anyway, it's a good, and both sponsors are real patriotic people, so they take care of us. And of course, we know Larry. Larry and WOCA really sponsor veterans and veterans events and are supportive of that. We appreciate that over the years, Larry. Listen, we have Dr. Knapp here today, and I think that the theme, well, I'll let you talk about the theme and introduce your guests. You brought a panel with you, so you look good in that. Everybody else is kind of casual, and you got this tie on. Is there? Are you trying to?
Doctor.
He's the doctor. Okay.
Trying to impress you, Hank.
Yeah, it's not working. Well, go ahead and introduce your folks.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's our pleasure again to be here. And we are actually going to have a mental health hour here today. Mental health is a very popular topic, and it's a topic that it's a service that is needed at the VA. And most of you know from our last programs that a couple of years ago, the federal government actually had a big push and put money into the mental health programs in the clinic, and we've really expanded our program. We're going to talk about that. But we brought today three people. We've asked Richard Frank, who's the director of the Vet Center, to be on the radio with us today, and Richard's group does a tremendous job collaborating with the Cascades and VA Clinic, and we're very, very thankful he took time out of his busy schedule to be here. We have Adam Hutton, who's been on the radio before. Adam is a mental health social worker at the Cascades, and Neil Lifshitz, who's our primary care social worker, who's involved in a tremendous amount of work at the Cascades, and he's going to explain today what he does. And all these gentlemen are involved with many of our veteran partners in the community. Well, let me start with Richard. Richard, we haven't had the pleasure of having you with us on the radio on our third Thursday. Can you tell us about the Vet Center and where it's located and some of the services that you provide?
Yeah, the Ocala Vet Center is here on 34th Avenue. We're in the old Mid-State Federal Building, which some people remember as the Mid-State Federal Building. It's got the IRS in it. It's got the center's family program in there. It backs up to Chuck E. Cheese, but it's off 34th Avenue. So we're not too far from the mall, so it was a pretty nice little hop, skip, and a jump over here. So that's where we're located, this local vet center. The program, the Vet Center program, was established by Congress in 1979 out of the recognition that significant number of Vietnam vets were experiencing readjustment problems, and so they decided to put forth a program that was a community-based part of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. And honestly, Mark, our program is higher on the org chart than it is the medical center. Just put that in there. So in the 90s, the Congress, extended those eligibility to veterans who served in World War II, Korea, Lebanon, Grenada, Panama, Persian Gulf, Somalia, Kosovo, Bosnia. And in 2003, OEF, OIF, and subsequent GWAT operations. So, but the unique thing about the Vet Center that's a lot of people aren't aware of is that we work with veterans with their readjustment, with their recovery, with their resilience issues, but we also work with their families, and we work with their families, and we work with their spouses, their significant others, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their children. And so, by the way, Tuesday night, my marriage and family guys got some openings. So if you got a family, hey, you're a war zone veteran, here we are. We've got an opportunity to work with our veterans who are from those various war zones in a little bit of a different fashion. We're from the readjustment, recovery, resilience model, and we don't have psychiatrists. We're counselors, and we work as veterans working with veterans, walking along with that person and that family through the readjustment process and back towards their road to recovery, and having them get those strengths that's requisite to make it in this civilized world that we return to, and we are so different from when we come home.
Dr. Knapp, we are at the point where we have to take a break, so we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sunshine for today. We'll have a heavy thunderstorm around from late morning on. Warm with highs of 85 to 87. Partly cloudy tonight, low 68 to 70. Variable clouds tomorrow with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm and highs of 85 to 88. Intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 85 to 88 Saturday. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Heather Zayer.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers, vegetables, shrubs, trees, and lawns too. Look for Black Cow in the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden center.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. And this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We're 19 minutes into Veterans News. Today's a full hour of Veterans News, and your phone calls are an important part of the show. If you want to call, the number is 622-9622. Hank Whittier, of course, is your host, and Dr. Mark Knapp is here answering questions as well as his panel of guests. And Hank and Doctor, back to you.
Yeah, well, Mark said I could have a minute or two, so that was, you're generous. You're generous to a fault, Mark. Anyway, Richard, let me, again, the Vet Center, and it is sort of a separate entity from the VA clinic. But let me compliment you, and everybody knows I don't hand out compliments easily, but I see you just expanded your hours to make it easier for veterans to get service, and that's, and I know the clinic has done the same thing, but, I tell social service agencies, people don't live 8 to 5, There are 24-hour-a-day issues and 24-hour-a-day problems and 7 days a week. So you might want to talk about your hours, but you put out that email. And a pat on the back for you guys over there and what you're doing. We talk about that all the time. Our hours are going to expand here in May. There are veterans who are working, veterans who can't make that traditional schedule that we think they can because they're working, and taking a day off is a problem, or they just can't get there Mondays through Fridays. So I think all of us kind of need to take a look at what we're providing and when we're providing it. So I appreciate you doing that, Richard.
No problem.
I think I'll just put a plug in. We had a mandate about a year ago. We now have expanded our mental health hours till 6 o'clock at night. So we're providing mental health services to that time. And actually, we started about a year ago having Saturday hours. So the clinic is open Saturday morning, both mental health and primary care. And I worked last Saturday, and I'm working this Saturday. So I know people are there on Saturday.
Yeah,
Let me move on here. We've hired Neil, our primary care social worker, and social work does a tremendous service to the clinic in working with our veterans. So, Neil, let me ask you, what spectrum of problems do you take care of for our veterans?
Oh, the wide spectrum of problems. Unfortunately, when veterans get ill, it's not just the illness that they're dealing with, but there are also social issues, financial issues, family issues. And so I do cover in support of the doctors and everything. One of the things I do a lot is meet with families in order to do long-range planning. The children will come, and the veterans are getting older, and they want to start making future plans as the veterans need more and more help. So I sit down with the families as well, and talk and start having a conversation about what's it going to look down the future, what are some of the signs you should look for, and these are your options.
Very good. I'll tell you about one problem Neil took care of when he first came to the clinic. We had a veteran who had medical care here, and a couple of days later he got on a plane to Germany. And he was in Germany having a vacation, ended up in the hospital, and I got a call one day from his wife that said he wants to come back to Gainesville. He needs medical care in Gainesville, and that's a hard one to handle, and Neil spent a week on that, taking care of that and coming up with a resolution. So some of these issues take a long time, and they're hard to solve.
Good job.
It's never boring.
It's great that one of the themes we have today is families. And I've been in the VA system 11 years, and we've really directed a lot of our attention to the veterans. But I noticed in the last couple of years we've had a real push to help families. I know Vets Helping Vets does that. That's one of the things I really like about the organization. And Richard has mentioned families, and so has Neil. So I think that's a really good push. Let me move on to Adam. Adam's a mental health social worker, and he's been on the radio about 3 or 4 months ago. Adam, tell us about some of the types of mental health services we offer at the Cascades, and what does a mental health social worker do?
Sure. Nice to be back. Well, we have individual therapy, therapy for couples. Some of the therapists do couples therapy, group therapy, and provide, sometimes supportive therapy. People just want to vent what's going on, sometimes with the loss of a loved one, bereavement therapy, other times what's called more like cognitive behavioral therapy, which really is looking at how thoughts and feelings are connected and attempting to change those to where people get stuck. That usually brings people into therapy. They're stuck somewhere in their lives, and a lot of people come in for PTSD, and there are specific therapies for PTSD, and we talk about that and where people are at as far as addressing that, or if they're wanting to focus first on current things going on in their lives. So really look at the whole picture and really what's most important currently.
Doctor, do you want to take a phone call?
We sure do.
Okay. You do have a phone call. And gentlemen, you'll need to put the headphones on to be able to hear. Thank you. Wait till you get the headphones on. There you go. All right. Good morning. Thank you for calling. And if everybody can hear me, then you'll be able to hear the caller. Can you all hear me?
No.
No. Okay. There should be a knob on whatever device your wire is connected to. You should be able to hear me.
Okay, got it.
Once you can hear me, then you'll be able to hear the caller. All right, good morning. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air now. Go ahead. You're on.
I was wondering, do you do marriage counseling for families?
Adam, why don't you go ahead and follow up your answer?
Okay. Yes. Well, I do personally. It depends from therapist to therapist based on their experience and comfort level. But speaking for myself, I enjoy doing both marriage and couples therapy.
If I may.
Okay, well, thank you for your question. Adam, let me follow up a little bit. Do you bring?
Doctor, you need the mic.
I'm sorry. Do you bring do you do therapy with the husband and the wife in the room at the same time, or is it individual therapy?
What I prefer to do is to start the therapy in the beginning. Sometimes if you see someone individually for a long time and then bring in a spouse, the person that you bring into therapy can feel that there's a bias. So in that scenario, I'll ask them. I'll say, would you be comfortable seeing another therapist? So we'll do that separately for the couples therapy. It's best to do couples therapy right from the beginning. So if we're doing individual therapy and later on a veteran says, I want to do marriage therapy, sometimes I'll refer to another therapist. But so I guess what I'm saying is it's best to start right from the beginning. Because the thing that can be difficult is in couples therapy is one or the other person feels you may side with the other person. That doesn't come up a lot, but I always like to give people possible expectations for the dynamics. And but it's very rewarding. People generally get a lot out of it, and so to answer your question, yes, we do that.
That's tremendous service, Richard. Over at the Vet Center, do you do group therapies for marriage counseling, or how do you handle that?
Well, for marriage counseling, we have a licensed marriage and family therapist who is our lead, currently with, I believe, 7 families in his care. And when I say families, I'm talking about couples, marriage counseling, and family therapy, working with the children as well. See, the children are impacted by war zone issues, and those kids come back and they say, why is Daddy different? And so in that regard, we work with the entire system. So in each vet center throughout the nation, all 300 vet centers have at least one marriage and family therapist on board. I fortunately have 2. And so we're blessed here in Ocala. What types of groups are coming forward with our family systems? What's emerged from our family therapy processes here at the Ocala Vet Center is not so much with couples group therapy, or what it is more significantly has been our war zone veterans' spouses want a group to address their issues in relation to the readjustment issues of their war zone spouse. So that has a look of itself, of its own, and there's a lot of stressors there. And sometimes our significant others get frustrated with themselves, saying, "Am I doing the right thing?" And am I causing my veteran more difficulty? And those kinds of questions. And that really comes up a lot in group. And so within our 2 what we'll call spouse support group. You don't have to be a spouse, but significant other support groups. That's a big issue that comes up.
That's very good. Group therapies are so helpful. To tell you how far we've come, I've been in the VA system for 11 years, and about 5-6 years ago, we did have a veteran who needed marriage counseling, and we had a very hard time providing that. So it's terrific that we have come a long way.
And Doctor, we're at the bottom of the hour now, so we'll need to take a little break, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have a full hour special of the Veterans News program today, and your phone calls are an important part of it. If you have a question you'd like to ask, don't hesitate to call. We'll give you a phone number so you can call off the air if you would like, either to the VA or to the Vets Helping Vets office. But right now on the air, the number is 622-9622. We've got another half hour of Veterans News, and Dr. Mark Knapp is here with a panel of specialists to answer your questions. We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA.
Fox Fox News Radio, I'm Joe Chiaro. Questions about how a man was allowed to land his gyrocopter onto the U.S. Capitol's West Lawn.
He kind of landed, bounced a little bit, and then kind of just stood there. The gentleman stood there, and then two policemen came in from our left-hand side and told him to stay still and leave their hands over their head.
He's among many who saw Doug Hughes fly overhead. Hughes, a postal worker from Florida, says he wanted to draw attention to campaign finance corruption. Two U.S. Army reservists in trouble.
Jamie Casillas and Andrew Reyes are accused of selling 10 guns, including 4 AK-47 assault rifles and thousands of rounds of ammunition to an undercover federal agent in California.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. And Israel pausing for 2 minutes today to remember the 6 million Jews killed in the Nazi Holocaust during World War II. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You're running your business, and we at Wix.com know things can get stressful. But creating your website doesn't have to be. With Wix, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and free. You don't have to be a programmer. Just drag and drop everything into place. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Go to Wix.com and create your own stunning website today. It's easy and free.
And now another golf confessional brought to you by Golfsmith. A man said he recently informed his wife he's going to start waxing his chest. Only because the waxing place is right near Golfsmith and trade-in days are almost over. When you trade in your old clubs, you get a 50% bonus towards new ones. He's got a lot of clubs to trade in, so he's going to wax his chest, eyebrows, back, and, well, trade-in days at Golfsmith is in its final days, so hurry in. Golfsmith, anything for golf.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs. And all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
All right, 27 minutes before 10 o'clock. Vets News is on. This is a special full-hour version. Dr. Knapp is in the studio to answer your questions about what they do over at the VA here in Ocala. And Dr. Knapp, we need Gary to go through the sponsors real quickly, and then we'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, we couldn't have these full-hour programs if it wasn't for the great people at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery. Again, 2610 Southeast 38th Street in beautiful Ocala, and the fine folks at our Ocala Ford dealers, and not just Ocala, they serve Gainesville, Leesburg, the Villages, and Bellevue. And of course, our main Ford office there is located at 2816 North Pine Avenue in Ocala, and you can smell the Burger King and you can see the Ford dealer right downtown there.
Very good. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We're going to continue in the last 15 minutes. Some of our themes have been support for veterans' families, children's collaboration, and we're going to move on to PTSD. But let me ask Neil Lifshitz, our primary care social worker. One of the strengths we have in the VA system with our partners, community partners, is collaboration. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the other veterans organizations in the community that you work with?
Sure enough. There are quite a few veteran organizations in Ocala, and the clinic has made major gains in collaborating more with these organizations. I get referrals from these organizations. I get phone calls. What are some resources in the community? And likewise, on the other way around is I will go over and hook up veterans with these organizations for support, for financial support, for food support, for services. So we work hand in hand with a number of organizations. The clinic is also with Vets Helping Vets, has put together a veteran coalition, and this is a group of organizations in this area that get together quarterly and work on improving collaboration, getting to know each other, and I get to know them, and therefore the dialogue is now open where we now talk freely with one another, not only for services, but also to resolve any issues.
Very good. Yes, we put together a Marion County Veterans Coalition. We estimate there's about 50 veterans groups in the county. And as Hank's not here right now, but as Hank says, we do a better job when we talk to one another. Richard, you have a unique perspective for the veterans that you see, and I know you deal with PTSD all the time. Can you speak a minute about PTSD and about some of the symptoms of PTSD that you're seeing?
Yes, Doctor. First of all, the Vet Center's experience with PTSD goes back to '79. Of course, we were initially working with the Vietnam veterans, war zone veterans, people who had 13 months in combat zones under fire. So our experience our knowledge base comes from a long experience with those types of veterans. And so we've become part of the, shall we say, the seminal documentation of the processes by which group therapies and individual therapies and exposure therapies have drawn from. But predominantly, the recovery therapies have come out of the Vet Center program. So my perspective, or what our perspective is, PTSD is, its watchword is avoidance. And why is that? Because persons dealing with PTSD symptoms of, they're typically trying to avoid that which opens up their symptomology. We call them trauma reminders.
Doctor, you have a phone call? Again, if you put your headsets on, you'll be able to hear the caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air now.
Good morning. My question is, what plan does the VA have for expansion of the mental health services?
Well, thank you for your question. The real exciting answer to that question, we were cleared a number of years ago to expand over 3,000 square feet at the Cascades. So right now at the Cascades we have 2 clinics, and we have their 3rd clinic in audiology optometry across town, and the VA has plans and money to expand to a 3rd clinic at the Cascades just above mental health. And so our plan, hopefully, and I'm not going to give you a date, but we're hoping this summer that we'll begin a very quick construction, short-term construction, and move our entire mental health group up to above where they're at right now. I'll expand my answer by just giving you a perspective. 3 years ago, we had 4 mental health providers. Up until recently, when we had someone retire, we had 8. So we had 3 psychiatrists. We just hired 1. 3 psychologists and 2 mental health social workers. And we've just hired 2 mental health RNs who are not on board yet. And the minute we move into our new facility, move mental health into our new facility, we probably will try to hire another psychiatrist. So we've more than doubled the personnel there, and obviously we could use more personnel. So the minute we move into a new facility, we outgrow it. So pretty exciting, and hopefully this will begin this summer.
Very good. And the phone line's open if you would like to call. The number is 622-9622, and we'll just continue with the conversation. Got another 20 minutes, by the way.
Well, thank you, Richard. Let me move on to Adam here.
Just choose your microphone, Doctor.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Adam, Let me move on a little bit to symptoms of PTSD. Can you give us some of the symptoms of PTSD and what you see in some of our veterans who you're treating?
Oh, sure. I just wanted to reiterate what Richard said. The telltale sign is avoidance. Everyone with PTSD avoids those situations that re-trigger the painful memories, flashbacks, environments that bring those painful memories, nightmares, reliving those experiences, difficulties with sleep, less sleep, broken sleep, depression, high levels of anxiety, high levels or even moderate levels of depression. Another very common symptom is social isolation, not wanting to be around other people. Easy way to think of it is just a heightened, your whole bells and whistles going off all the time. So anything causes you to get stressed out. So the need for low level of light, low level of noise, not wanting to be around crowds, be by yourself, keep everything to a minimum. So those are some of the main symptoms. There are more, and some people have all the symptoms of PTSD, some people have most of them. Everyone's unique, but the avoidance features, difficulty with sleep, anxiety, and depression are some of the main ones that I see.
Very good.
So.
And Richard, to expand on what you told us a minute ago, Adam had mentioned cognitive behavioral therapy. Of the therapies for PTSD, which of those therapies do you provide at the vet center?
Everybody at the vet center is a licensed mental health counselor, and of course one's both licensed as a mental health counselor and as a marriage and family therapist. We provide eclectic types of therapies ranging from socialization skills, ranging from stress inoculation, ranging from rehabilitative types of resiliency trainings, all the way up to prolonged exposure, cognitive processing therapy, which are both exposure therapies, cognitive therapies, cognitive behavioral therapies. So these types of therapies, I'm throwing out a lot of words which really makes no sense to a lot of people, but when we talk with people and then we get them and help them learn how to behave differently and to engage things that are trauma reminders and move toward trauma reminders rather than move away from trauma reminders, we help them learn how to cope with the PTSD symptoms, and in the long run they gain the experience that the symptoms are survivable. That's one of the greatest fears we find with PTSD sufferers is they're afraid if I have another one of these stupid panic attacks, I'm going to die. It's going to blow my heart out. And we help them understand that, of course, with medical clearance, but we help them understand that they have survived it thus far, and they can survive it, and they can continue to survive it, even with better results than anything they've had before.
Very good. Good answer. Good. Let me move on, Neil. One of our big pushes in the clinic this year is our homeless veterans, and we've been trying to interact a little bit more with some of the communities in town that provide care and follow-up of our homeless veterans. What services are available, and what services are you involved with our homeless veterans in the community?
Well, as you said, the VA has really been putting a lot of program and effort into addressing the issue of homelessness with veterans, because veterans as a whole have a higher incidence of homelessness. And the VA, recognizing that, has set up various programs. So if a homeless veteran comes to my office, I have various things. The VA has, in partnership with Housing and Urban Development, have come up with the HUD-VASH program, and the VA has a outreach social worker who comes down to the Salvation Army once a week and screens veterans. And through that front door, that social worker can direct that veteran to a variety of programs, including the Ritz on the Boulevard is a domiciliary program of which a vet can stay there for up to 6 months and have not only a roof over their head, but also have programs of case management and therapy as well. There are also programs in Gainesville, such as the Honor Program, another one to help with homelessness. So I am in constant contact with these programs, and we refer back and forth, and I collaborate closely with them.
Doctor, we need to take another break. So this will be our last break. We still have another 15 minutes left in the show, so we'll take a look at the weather and a few commercial announcements, and we'll be right back. Again, the phone line is open if you want to call the Vets Show. It is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sunshine for today. We'll have a heavy thunderstorm around from late morning on. Warm with highs of 85 to 87. Partly cloudy tonight, low 68 to 70. Variable clouds tomorrow with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm and highs of 85 to 88. Intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 85 to 88 Saturday. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Heather Zayer.
Hey everybody, this Saturday is Arbor Day. Time to get the year's lowest prices on trees at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Now this week, you can buy a super large tree. I'm talking a 6 to 8 footer, more different varieties than you can imagine for just $49.99. If you want larger, Bob has gigantic trees up to $4.99, delivered, planted, and guaranteed. And say, if you're thinking of the yard redo, be sure to check with Bob or Lori. They promise you'll get a better job for less on time. Be sure to check this week's ad for more super bargains like these. Lovely, fragrantly blooming Confederate jasmine, 6 for $29.99. All kinds of ornamental grass at super low prices. BOGO deals on daylilies, gardenia daisies, ivy geranium hanging baskets, and lots more. All buy one, get one at Bob Wine's this week. New spring to summer store hours, daily till 5, Saturdays till 4. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. Homegrown, locally owned since 1952.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
All right, 12 minutes left in the Veterans Program. Your phone calls are welcome. The number is 622-9622. And Dr. Mark Knapp is here from the VA clinic here in Ocala. Doctor?
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'll just give everyone a perspective on our homelessness in the county. It was in the newspaper recently. Tom Thomas of the Marion County Homeless Council had mentioned that there's about almost 1,000 homeless people in Marion County, and they need to report that yearly to the federal government. Mr. Thomas has mentioned to us it's very hard to count homeless people because a lot of people that are homeless do not want to be involved with organizations and the federal government. Of that group, there's at least 20% of the homeless people in the county that are veterans. And Neil had mentioned the Ritz Hotel, which is a very exciting project that houses up to 50 homeless veterans. But Adam, I'm really interested in the Honor Center. I didn't realize that we had another facility in Gainesville for homeless veterans. Can you give us a little bit idea of what's going on with that?
Sure. The Honor Center is just one of the many domiciliaries or DOMs throughout the country. Each state, the VA has domiciliaries. And they serve many homeless veterans. They live at the Honor Center while they're regaining their lives. You know, there's rec therapy, learn nutrition, living skills, job searching, education, basically setting life goals and restarting their lives. It's really exciting. You know, when I think of the statistics, and you know, out of the veterans here, 20% of the homeless. 20% being veterans. You know, I just think of the mental health and the impact on both substance abuse and mental health, and how trauma affects that. And I can see those statistics. And being able to have a program like HUD-VASH, which is where the Honor Center falls under, is remarkable. And I think they do a lot of good work. So,
How many veterans are housed at the Honor Center in Gainesville? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I believe at least 15 at any one time, but I believe more than that at times. And they have groups during the day. Veterans attend at least 6 hours of groups and or programming during the day. And also they basically are encouraged to choose from different classes that are offered and to socialize, and families are highly encouraged as far as community members to be involved. So it's really looking at the recovery model and a holistic approach of recovery.
Good, very exciting. Neil is involved with the Ritz Hotel, and as he mentioned, it can house up to 55 veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, the first program was 2 years, and they recently have graduated 50 veterans. And as Neil had mentioned, they go to school, they have jobs, they live locally, and it's really exciting to see those 50 veterans move along and actually succeed in the community. And recently, they have 30 new veterans that are at the Ritz, and we've been meeting those veterans because they all come to the Cascades and everything else. And it's really just a wonderful program. We only have a few minutes, so I have a couple of really interesting topics I want to hit before we leave. The VA system now has a project to expand living wills, end-of-life discussions with our veterans, and Neil, you're involved with that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. There's an initiative going on where the VA is addressing to have encouraging veterans to put in writing, to have a discussion with their families about end-of-life issues. If, God forbid, you should be in a terminal state, do you want to be kept alive artificially? And so I meet with veterans all the time, those that want to do a living will and a healthcare surrogate. The living will says whether or not you want to be kept alive artificially. The healthcare surrogate is where you designate someone that if you're unable to make healthcare decisions, go to this person, and that person can make healthcare decisions for me. So I will meet with veterans on a regular basis and have that discussion with them. And if they're uncomfortable discussing with their families, then I help them and facilitate that discussion as well, so that everybody knows what your wishes are, and then we can honor them.
It's very good. So if I'm a veteran who doesn't have an appointment coming up and I would like to discuss end of life or living wills, how would I go about that?
You would call me up, make an appointment, or knock on my door.
Right. And all our veterans who go to the clinic who are listening, your access is your PAC team. You have a nurse, a doctor. Just give them a call and they'll get you referred to Neil, and he'll sit down and have a discussion with you. Access has been in the newspaper recently, and we've had some negative articles. And every single hour of my day, I worry about access at our clinic. So we're going to spend a couple minutes talking about access, because we certainly want to provide good access for our veterans who come to the clinics, but also those who don't come to the clinic and want to get enrolled, and our veterans who want mental health. So. Richard, let me ask you about how does a veteran get enrolled in the vet center?
The enrollment process is war zone veteran shows up to the vet center with a DD-214, and we ask for some information about their background, and we create what's called a veteran identifying number, and then you're enrolled. No copays, no time limit on your services, no eligibility requirements. Your ticket through the door is your campaign medal. So that's how you enroll with us. I had a young gentleman call me Monday, and we were able to see him Tuesday. We get personnel in as quickly as possible. We're trying to help out with the current issues with the Cascades, with some mental health issues, people being sent over. We're trying to cover that as well. So we're trying to work real hard. The timing's right. The expanded hours is opened up. We've got a few extra slots, so we're making them happen. So enrollment is simply a DD-214 at the Vet Center.
Great. So it sounds like your access is just terrific. Let me speak about the access at the Cascades. With the addition of our new psychiatrist, we have same day, we have same week access, and with our collaboration between primary care and mental health, up until we had one mental health provider retire, and we're trying to replace them. But for the year of 2014, probably about half of our mental health referrals from primary care were seen the same day. And we get calls from the courthouse, the judge, et cetera, and our patients are seen literally within the same day or several days. So we're trying to really improve our access, and I just mentioned that a lot of the access numbers that were presented in the last week in the newspaper are old, antiquated data, and we've been trying to follow up on some of that information, and all I can tell you is it's antiquated data, and we're going to have a program on access and what we're doing to improve that coming up in the future. Let's hit a couple other topics before we finish. Neil, can you tell us a little bit about our interaction with our local hospitals? Because our veterans lots of times go locally and they don't go to Gainesville because of the distance. And we really need to interact with our local hospitals and get records and everything else.
Sure. If a veteran goes to a local hospital and they have their stay, and as they come to be discharged, the hospital case manager prepares a discharge plan. In other words, what services, what equipment, what other support the veteran is going to need once he gets discharged from the hospital. So many times, especially with our older veterans, they go in the hospital under Medicare. So what the case manager in the hospital will do will set up those services and equipment through Medicare. But the VA likes to see the veterans shortly after their discharge, to bring them in, have them see their primary physician so that we can go over and assess what needs he may lead down the road that the VA may be able to help with, and also to prevent readmission. So I work closely with contacts within each hospital and all the hospitals that in order that if they need the VA help to see if the veteran is eligible, we help with equipment, we can help with medicine, we can help with in-home services.
Very good. And since we only have a couple minutes, Neil, if a veteran needs to be hospitalized or a veteran's potentially suicidal, what hospitals do we use in the area?
Oh, okay. Oh, you said yeah, if a veteran needs to be hospitalized, we utilize the Gainesville, VAMC, the Vines, or the centers would be the three main referrals. Yeah.
Now, one of our pushes at the Cascades is to really interact with the hospitals. If you're a veteran in the hospital, we want to follow you up. We want to get your records. We want to make sure that this is one community that's providing medical care, not different hospitals and different medical environments, but one community that's providing collaborative care.
I asked LaShawna to come by just to say hello, to just kind of compare and contrast between you and LaShawna. So you look better than they do. Okay.
You like to put me on the spot, right?
I put everybody on the spot.
Hi, everyone.
LaShawna, go ahead and tell us what you do over the college.
Well, I'm the veteran certifying official over there at the college. I certify VA educational benefits, and I actually send them over to Hank or to Dr. Knapp if they need help with any other VA issues. So,
but it's part of the team. It's part of what we do here in Marion County. We're all inclusive. So it's a good county to be in. We met with the mayor Tuesday and had a great meeting with him about providing more services and just coordinating services more so than we've done in the past. So I think we're out of time, Larry, right?
Yes.
So, Bob Wine's Nursery, Ford, and WOCA, we appreciate it, and God bless America, everybody.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Joe Chiaro. They'll be broadening the search for that missing Malaysia jetliner if it's not found by May.
We'll extend north, south, east and west.
Malaysian Transport Minister Loti Young Lai.
If the aircraft is not found within the current 60,000 square kilometer search area, we have collectively decided to extend the search by an additional 60,000 square kilometer.
The plane went missing over a year ago with 230